Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of Zoe Wanna Know, which is my new podcast. So I'm here with my friend Raven, who is a musician called CP.U. So do you want to give an introduction about what you do?
Introduction?
Yeah.
I wave to I wave to people that I used to play face to it. I am a DJ, producer, just general creative, and I enjoy traveling the world and sharing my talents with people all over the world.
Mm-hmm. So we met when I was living in London at the time, and Raven was in London traveling for, I guess, fun and music, right?
Yeah.
And then since then, obviously, I became a content creator who often came to Trinidad, and I would often hear this narrative in Trinidad, in my comment section and stuff, saying that when I would receive kindness from strangers in Trinidad, maybe I'd get invited to a stranger's house or a stranger's wedding or whatever it might be, I'd get comments being like, oh, Trinis could never do that in your country, people in your country wouldn't be nice to us, it's not fair, it's only happening here because you're white, whatever. But then you would often tell me travel stories where you would have really nice interactions on your travels, and I don't know, what do you think?
Most of my interactions are nice, but I think I am privileged as well too. After I really think about it, I tell myself these people may not be as hospitable if I wasn't a DJ or somebody that could potentially be very successful in the future that they would see as an asset. But I have met quite a few genuine people that don't care about that.
Yeah.
And people fail to realize how nice Trini people intend to be with almost everybody. So,
as in that they're nice to other Trinis?
Yeah, they're nice to other Trinis. If it is we decide we was parked up here playing music from our car, me and another friend, and somebody who kind of recognize our face, or not even recognize our face, even somebody in distress might come and say, yo, I get a flat tire there, or they could come and help me.
Yeah.
When we don't fix the flat tire, he need lime too.
Exactly.
That's just kind of how
this
we
is
are.
what I think too. I've literally witnessed Trini people giving fruits to other Trini people.
My mother got, the Danish cookies?
Yeah.
The taxi driver that was bringing us back from the hospital, he said he got that from a parts place that he bought. He bought a part, and he's like, yo, this guy knows how to do business. And my mother made a joke and say, well, if you don't like it, you can give me. And he did. Gave my mother gift wrap Danish cookies and say, mother, that is yours.
Yeah.
After we just paid him only $12.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I'm happy that you feel that way about your people,
Yeah, people nice, man.
And so in terms of your travels, obviously I know you've been to so many countries, you don't need to list them all, but could you maybe talk about, because another thing I hear here is oh, people shouldn't hitchhike, people shouldn't do this, you shouldn't trust strangers, whatever. Do you have any stories from your travels where maybe you trusted a stranger and it turned out well, or are there any stories you could share about that kind of thing on your travels, being spontaneous and
let me think about it. I have never hitchhiked before because I just don't think it would work out for somebody like me. Especially if I'm by myself, I don't think it would work out for somebody like.
As in, you don't think people would stop for you?
Yeah. I've several things going against me when you think about stereotypes, dreadlocks, Black Rasta man. This is not something I would put myself in position to do. But I remember one time. It was a National Express coach guy.
So in England it's a big bus company, coach company.
I didn't have a ticket, and that was the last bus leaving the airport. And I thought I bought the ticket for the wrong date. Oh. He let me on the bus.
Aww.
He was like, the next bus leaves here in 3 or 4 hours. I was from Stansted or something.
Yeah.
And just let me on the bus. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then when I was getting off the bus, he was like, you could redeem that ticket, right?
Oh, as in to get another ticket?
Yeah. As in to get back my money.
Oh.
So it's that was cool.
And wasn't there this story about a tattoo, from someone in the alleyway?
Oh, yeah. My boy Vlad. So I was looking for this party one time to find my friends. But in this particular part of London, the pin didn't drop. I don't even know how to explain this, but long and short of the story, there was a tiny alleyway with quite a few pubs and bars and clubs.
Yeah.
And I was looking for one party, but it's quite a few parties going on. So I see these two guys in the middle of the alleyway, looking like Rob Likely. My boy Vlad was doing the Slav squat. Well, in Trinidad we call it the Blockman stoop. You know what I mean? brethren was leaning up on the wall and they have a bottle of vodka and smoking. I'm like, yo, these fellas look like they're going to try and rob me. I think I go and talk to them first, see if I could
Sometimes I do that tactic.
Trini wiggle my way out of this. Anyway, Vlad did this tattoo and we're still friends to this day. They offered me herbs and vodka.
So
like
did you
real
line with them
vodka.
like there and then?
I lined with them for like 45 minutes. I forgot about the party. And only to find out that the party they were in was not the party I was in. It was like opposite sides of the road.
Okay, so you lined with them, they gave you vodka, they gave you weed.
And then I was like, yo,
you
I
found
need to
out that
go
he's a
look for my
tattoo
friends.
artist.
Yeah, he was giving me his whole story. He's from Romania. Why he's in London, where he's aspiring to be aspiring tattoo artist. He want to open his own studio, and at the time he was really young. He was like 20 at the time.
Oh.
He's way younger than me.
Oh, okay.
He just have the big beard and he looks older. But
yeah,
he's a kid.
So then you were like, oh, I want a tattoo.
No, that's not even. I didn't even get the tattoo at the same time. I got the tattoo like when I came back to England. We just was talking about it.
Oh, because like
so
you stayed in touch.
We kept in contact. Kept in contact. He would come to my shows. He would bring his friend Mitsu. Had one time they snuck a bottle of Kraken into my gig and made the security get upset, and the security kept it for us, and then we went and drank it in the park in Brixton like kids would.
Well.
So I have quite a few interesting experiences with just meeting people for the first time, especially while traveling.
And how about these? I swear, when you were in, I think it was Italy, you were staying with like these people in their house, and I don't know, weren't you crashing with these people in Italy for like a long time? They took you to like waterfalls and stuff. Am I making this up? Like, who are they? Like, how did you meet them?
That's my sister and Alicia. Alicia loved water. She loved carrying foreigners around to see like the non-typical parts of Italy.
Yeah. So like, how did you originally meet her?
I met her through Jamie.
Oh, okay.
And Jamie met her through, I think it was Earl Chinner Smith in Jamaica.
Oh, through
that
music.
was Bob Marley's guitarist.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a photographer, so she was one of the only photographers that was allowed to take pictures of Chinner Smith.
Oh.
So, like, cause that whole experience, just from what people tell me, is that Trinidad has a community of people that he would have around and highly respectful, and thing is, most people that I think in that community or were around that community have found success in some way or the other.
Okay.
So 10-15 years down the line, like, it's almost like one big family.
Okay.
So she treat me like family just as she would treat Jamie like family, just as she treat Bami like family. I actually think we're better friends now than both of them. But yeah, I saw all shapes and forms of waterfall, waterways, different tourist sites, not necessarily the most popular ones that people will go to Italy for, you know?
So generally, like, out of these countries that you've been to, would you say you have like someone you can stay with in like most of them now, or?
Portugal, yeah, I have a couple of people. England is like second home, I guess. Italy, yes. Quite a few places, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few places where I could. Netherlands for sure. Like, big up my boy Danny in Netherlands every single time. Like, with Danny, it's a matter of, yo, I'm landing in Eindhoven in 3 hours. Really? Okay, I see you at the airport.
Nice.
Yeah.
And were there any countries where maybe you felt like, I don't know, because of how you look or anything, that, you know,
look,
or whatever, or were there any countries for whatever reason where you feel like actually people were looking at you away, or it was really hard to make friends, or
people always look at you away, but it's not always what
in a bad way?
it is. Yeah, most of the time it's curiosity.
Yeah. But I meant if there's anywhere where you felt like people are looking at you in like a bad way, and you have like less opportunity to make friends because people there are like racist or don't like trainees or whatever, like, you know what I mean?
To be honest, only random English people.
Okay.
Yeah, only random English people, like on a bus or somebody that has an issue, and then I have a nice little comeback for that. So I'll be like, yo, my grandfather stormed Normandy for you to sit on this bus and be racist. My black grandfather stormed Normandy, and I just repeat it to them.
Wait, you say it?
Huh?
You say it?
Yeah, I say it. I say it, and I say it as calmly as I'm not agitated.
But this is when they're doing what? They're like, what are they doing to make you say it?
I remember this one guy. He was literally on the bus behind me, trying to say it loud enough for me to hear, but not loud enough for the entire bus to hear. And he's talking about these blacks and this and he's grumbling in a way that he wanted you to say, oh, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't even wait for the what are you saying. I just turned around and I was like, well, my grandfather stormed Normandy for you to sit on this bus and be racist, so I guess you're entitled to that. He's like, what are you on about? I was like, oh, you can't remember when your country needed help from every single colony, whether it was black, white, green, or brown, to help you win World War II or to not, and to also to come and repopulate your country after. He's like, oh, that's bullshit. I was like, I mean, you could Google it, and I left it.
Was he like old or young?
He was old. I've never received that from like young people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think young people in England, in general in Europe, they don't care about this thing because the world is getting smaller and culture is exchanged so easily, and people tend to not think about the color of people's skin when they're really into something. You know, like even when you think about like dub and reggae culture and dancehall culture in Japan, even soca culture and Trinidadian culture with the pan and the soca, these people don't think about, oh no, this guy is darker than this guy, oh no, you're darker than me, so you can sing more. So is never along them lines.
So you mean like the music's bigger?
Yeah, once they're into that, and they're into the culture fully. I even see it with the hip hop culture in Japan and in Asia. That's how they are.
Okay, so being a musician, obviously from Trinidad, you still live in Trinidad even though you travel plenty, right?
Yeah, I still live in Trinidad.
Obviously, I know that like a lot of the music that you're into isn't the most popular music here.
No.
So, you know, you're not like a Trinidad DJ or a dancehall DJ or a soca DJ, really.
I'm like, you continue.
Yeah, so basically, well, yeah, I guess do you want to tell them more about like what music you do? I'm a open format DJ and producer, meaning I don't think about a genre when I'm doing things. I just think everything different music, regardless of genre, has a certain vibe and a certain frequency, and I try to blend these things together with my Trinidadian elements to make it fresh and interesting for a Trinidadian or somebody that has never heard this music before in their life. So that's my thing. I do dancehall, Afrobeat, I'm a piano, house, drum and bass, you name it, soca. And also I do soca in context. I don't just play soca when I feel like playing soca. So, like, being maybe different from most DJs in Trinidad, what's that like? You know, being here and being different, like in the music scene here?
The music scene here is interesting. I don't want to be too controversial or critical of it, but it's really a music scene. It's not a music industry. If it was an industry, for me, I think it would have several building blocks for people to earn differently. I think it would have different entry levels for what you want to do, and then like there's a lot of things in Trinidad is kind of end up boiling down to being controlled by one or two people, like the pinnacle of it. I remember my friend Keisha made this reference once, like Trinidad accustomed to the top two all times, B-Mobile, Digicel. I mean,
well, you don't think it's Flow and Digicel? I think it's Flow and Digicel.
No, we're talking about cell phone providers.
Yeah, Flow.
Flow is the cell phones?
Don't they? Oh, you mean like phone card?
Yeah, mobile phone providers. It's always been B-Mobile and Digicel.
Oh, they don't have Flow in Trinidad?
Flow is more internet and landline.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Full Flow has like a cell phone service.
Oh my god.
I could be wrong though. Like,
I could be wrong too. Let us know, guys.
But the main competition is always look at it at the top two: B-Mobile, Digicel, Marshall, Bungie.
Wait, so who do you think are the two most popular DJs in Trinidad?
Two most popular DJs?
I don't know.
I would want to. I have to start with of this generation. You mean?
Yeah.
I have to start with Travis Will.
Facts.
And for a different community, tech songs. Tech songs. And then, well, people don't like to say that Young Brother and his crew is DJs, Young brother's a performer, yes, but you see the DJ aspect of his performance.
Yeah, well, or Hottie.
Yeah, Hottie and Pimpin when they're doing their thing, that is like, I would say, next level. That will always pull a crowd. And then you also have your alternative scene, I guess. Channel 13 on Scorch Radio. He's kind of like pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I say he's pretty good, like he taught me a lot about how I know in terms of music taste and where to find music and how to find music. We kind of have a similar taste in music, but he's just been doing it for 10 years longer than me. So if I could find it, he could find it twice.
So do you think? So okay, like I've often done interviews with musicians and stuff in Trinidad, and they often, not all of them, but like often they say that when they travel to, let's say, America or England or whatever, they feel in a way like more popular or like more appreciated in a way, like for what they do.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
The reason for this is when people see you leave your country, regardless of how you leave, and you're going to do what you do as your passion or as your job elsewhere, they see it as you're taking this thing very seriously. So they would treat you like if you take it seriously. And then also is like most of the times you don't just get there. Like somebody had to either recommend you or something, some buzz has to be going on about you for you to be there, So I think that would come with the good treatment or the quote unquote great treatment that people will talk about.
But do you think also, I don't know, maybe could it also be that like in your own country people are just really accustomed to you, so they take you for granted a bit, but you're like more rare when you're like abroad, or I don't know.
Trinidad have a plus and a negative with that, in that you are who you are. We don't care about who you think you are. You are who you are, basically. In that I could become the most famous producer in the morning, and I would still be able to go grande and get doubles. I might get, hey, you're that producer guy, and things Trinidad is not a place that we really pay attention to producers. Like Travis Will has been making bangers for years until he decided, hey, I'm going to put out this. I wouldn't call it a persona because I don't know how he really operates now. Because when I met Travis was real quiet and diligent. Like he used to be by my brethren's studio in St. James, Kingston. And most of the times people will be laughing and kicking around. He'll be in the corner on his laptop. If something real funny, you'd see him do this. And he's back on it. But I think he probably read the market and realized, hey, if I really want to do something, I have to show them a bit of my personality or show them a bit of personality. And that's how it really worked. What was the original question?
I can't remember. Oh yeah, if people appreciate you more abroad. Yeah,
people definitely appreciate me more abroad. For one is they're not accustomed to seeing Trinity DJs play the type of music I play anywhere I play it.
So it's like something new.
They're not used to, it depends on the crowd. Like if I'm playing for a drum and bass crowd, I would use the opportunity to introduce that crowd to soca music by putting maybe like a soca acapella over a drum and bass instrumental. Like famous one I like to use is Ruction. Yeah, Ruction. Just take a drum and bass instrumental real easy. And that's how I like try to be impactful when I do things, and always like remind people, hey, while I do all of these things, it's still a Trini doing it, and I am Trinidadian.
Yeah. And I had a good question. Oh yeah, it might not be something you want to speak about, but like, would you be able to share with us anything about like money? Like, was there ever a show in England where you can remember that like you were paid the most money ever, or what's like the lowest anyone's paid you? Like, can you share anything about the money that comes?
Yeah, if I'm keeping it real, I've never. What I would say consider my lower end when I convert it to TT dollars. What I consider my lower end is.
We're talking about Europe now, right? It's like Europe.
Yeah, Europe and England.
Yeah.
My lower end is like my very high end here. So if you convert it into TT dollars, if I let's say get £200 or £150 to do something in England,
that will be like
that same thing I'm doing here probably be $500 or $600, and that's only lower end in England.
So that's like what, a 30-minute set? Or that's like a whole night, or like...
No, that'd probably be for like...
Oh, an hour?
Yeah, an hour or two or something. But I usually try to not take 1 hour bookings.
So you'll try to take 2 hours to get more money?
Yeah, and then to make it more economic for the promoter.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, our set is if you have star DJs that you just really want to roll off. Or like you have a full cast and you just really want to get everybody on and off.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I kind of like curating a vibe for a period of time. So I like taking 2 hour bookings. I would play for the hour if you just really have an hour, but I'll charge you for 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would be like, or what's the most, can you tell us the most you've ever got for like one booking? Do you remember?
I think it was 350.
For like an hour or something?
Nah, I did a whole... No, it was 450. I did a whole evening in club once. I wasn't expecting to do the whole evening, but as I was playing, the owner or the manager keep telling me like, yo, could you play another hour? Because I think he was just enjoying the response.
Yeah.
And I ended up charging him according to, and then he gave me like a little bonus after. So in total it came up to around like 480.
£480.
Yeah, I've never made that much money DJing in one night.
Yeah. But even here, would they book you for a whole night?
Some venues would do this. Like I used to have a residency at Show Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
And they would pay pretty decent, but not like England decent. And I'd normally play for like 6 hours, between 4 to 6 hours there when I'm playing there. And
like, do you mind that, you know, it's not like making you a millionaire? Like, are you doing it? Would you carry on doing this forever if the money stayed the same? Or do you know what I mean? Like, do you need it to?
Well, I can give you a little backstory as to how I started DJing in the first place. I'll give you a little backstory as to how I started DJing in the first place. I was a producer first, as a beat maker first.
While you were doing other jobs, like normal jobs?
Yeah, like because like I studied music and stuff, so even like one of my first jobs was I was in the Divine Echoes OJT department, which was like a big band. So they were playing percussion and learning more about music theory and actually learning how to really play percussion, because like the manager there, he was like one of the best, not one of the best, I think he's still the best percussionist that has ever graced Trinidad shows, Tamba Gwindi. And then all the other percussionists, they were like, wow, you have a lot of skill, but you really can't play.
You have a lot of skill, but you can't play?
Yeah. Meaning you have the skill in your hands, but you don't know what to play. And they kind of instructed me as to what to play and when to play it and how to play it and how to get into the groove and all of this. So that's like my first job. And so I've always been like working within music from 19, and then even before that I used to treat music very seriously when I was playing steel pan on a more serious level. So it was always something that I treat seriously. So then I started producing and making my own beats. And the reason I started DJing was that I wanted to hear what my beats sound like on big speakers, because I never had like studio monitors and I had no reference point as to if they sound noisy, if they're dirty, if it doesn't sound good. Yeah, I wanted to hear my music on speakers, and I was like, yo, I used to play around with virtual DJ back in the day. I should start back DJing, and I was doing events at the time too. And me and my friends was doing an event called Oil Long, and I had some music that I made, and my friends was like, yo, you're playing for Oil Long? Because they assume all producers could just randomly turn into DJs in the morning. So they asked me how to play. This was like in 2016 or something. And I ended up playing in my own event, and it ended up working out well. My mix was garbage, like it nearly bust the speakers in the club. So mission accomplished. I had to go home and mix over and all of this. But my main reason for DJing was to hear the music that I made on loudspeakers, because I couldn't afford to have big loudspeakers back home. And now we're here. So for me to say that I'll be doing this for the rest of my life, I don't know if I'll be DJing for the rest of my life, but I'll definitely be doing music for the rest of my life. To be honest, like DJing is super fun for me, and I find it as something that I would probably still do if I'm not getting paid for fun. Maybe not consistently all the time.
Yeah, because you'll have to make money another way.
Yeah, because like DJ equipment ain't cheap.
Yeah.
production equipment also not cheap. So sometimes I had to kind of compromise and figure out what I want to do. But it's probably something I will continue doing until I'm fed up of it. Yeah.
So do you think in Trinidad, the kind of, I don't know if you'll call it like alternative music scene or like what you'll call it, but do you think it will keep growing? Like, do you think there's a bit of a future for that? Or?
I think it will keep growing if people continuously try to grow it. But if we just leave it up to the people that have it in their hands already, I think if we just leave it up to the people that have it in their hands already, is not designed to continue growing, because the alternative scene was way bigger in Trinidad before. And I don't want to speak too much on this because it's technically not my business, because I don't really see myself as part of the community in the same way, because for whatever reasons. But I think the people that are in charge have it at a manageable rate for them, at a manageable size for them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my way of saying it. That is absolutely the best way I could put that. But like, me and my friends, we still do things. Do a lot of things in Geno's. Bring a different vibe, bring an alternative vibe, different settings. Like we still have a nice community of people that are just different and do their things in a very interesting way. Like Benra, like St. Channel 13, like my brethren Andy himself. Just seeing that big enough people, I might as well big up like one of the real ones, one of my like life lessons, everything. He will let you have it, whether you want to have it or not. Big up my brethren LB. Like LB's the realest in the game. LB and T-Fed, them is my homies. But I think like those are also people that are doing their thing on a level, and they have their niche, they have their people. And I really respect what they do for the alternative scene. And for these guys, it's not really about making a lot of money,
right?
Because I mean, these guys I just call already have sources of income that, like
other jobs type thing.
Yeah, and it's not like they actually come out and do this for fun because they like it now. And I think that's kind of like where I'm headed now too, because it's more organic that way. Like my last event, I spent a considerable amount of money that I didn't make back, but I was cool with that because the people that were there really enjoy it, and I see it as, this could probably build in. Maybe I might make profit one day.
Yeah.
You know?
But that just means that sometimes you might have to do some other work that's not so much fun to like support the passion.
Because tour money is done real quick. I would usually, after I kind of save a bit, by usually mid-January, early February, tour money done. So I have to supplement with the DJ gigs, and I had other regular jobs, like I was a delivery driver one time. In COVID, I was working at a call center.
But the hope is to stay living in Trinidad, like forever?
No, not forever. Because of me really wanting to pursue music in a very serious way. I don't want to say Trinidad too small or whatever. There's kind of like a cap as to how far people may reach.
Okay.
And I've traveled a lot and I've seen past that cap. Like, and things like I've been traveling for music since I was 16. I went to Scotland in 2006.
For Pan.
And I kind of realized that, this industry has like actual blocks and levels, and it's not just, all right, wake up in the morning, sing a song, and then you're the most famous person ever. So for me, it's like, how to put it? I guess I've seen past the firmament. And my goals and my objectives and the way I would go about doing things has always been in line with being a citizen of the world and not a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
That is like, I would say that is where I would think I would have to migrate at some point and maybe do something in another place on a different level.
So are there any, maybe you can't share, but are there any like really bad or crazy stories about like the music scene here that you could share? Like, I don't know if you know, somebody booked you and didn't pay you, but like a more interesting, juicy story?
The thing is, outside of corporate bookings, I still do corporate bookings. Like I might do things once in a while for UE. It's been a while since I did anything for them. I would still do like, so I do like private parties.
Yeah.
I did a couple of those this year. They pay pretty alright.
Or even with like the beats that you made, did anybody like steal any beats? Like, come on.
Nobody never steal any of my beats, you know. Let me think about it. Controversy in music with me. To be honest, my mouth have no cover in this thing because as I tell people, I put heart and soul and dedicate my life to this thing. So when I see things that come across to me as foolishness or to me as greedy or to me as not wholesome, I kind of would let these people know.
Oh, actually, I remember one time I saw you on Instagram put up this flyer that had you on it, and you were like, they did not book me. Yeah,
that's the thing with me. Like that was one thing that had me like, yo. And then it also had my label like, yo, you, because like when I'm doing things like this, we have a certain agreement with promotion and these sorts of things. So like I don't know if you'll see when any kind of event I'm playing or anything, you'll see Sunset Up share it or it'll be tagged to their page at some point or whatever. And they were asking me about the details about this. And I was like, I don't know. But for me, Chinese, they do things too familiar sometimes. And we just do it abroad. I'll get back to this flyer thing, but it kind of reminds me of a scenario. A time I was in London and this Trinidad guy approached me to play on a truck, and he was like, give me a number, and I was like, he was like, how much it will cost? I was like, it might run a lot. How, like, it depends on where you want. You want me to play all day? You want me to drum for a few hours? You want me to drum for 3 hours straight? Like, and he didn't want to articulate that, and then he was like, just give me a price, and I told him £600. And his response was block and delete. And then I had to see him. And I had to see him in our party the next week, and he walking past me straight so. But the thing is, he was in my party now. I was in a Sunset Up party now. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with my people?
Delete is crazy.
What is wrong with my people? Like, you gotta let me go. You think I just go and jump up on your truck because I live in Trinidad and I will be glad for $2,000? No, brother, we in London. A pack of tobacco is $15, $20. A box of food is £10. I'm not going to start up on your truck and jump. So yeah, that was one crazy story. That was like first year I went to London. I can't remember the name of the band. It was like you wanted Juve and like Mass on your road. So I was like, fuck it, £600. And realistically, I should have probably charged him more.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
But like that one scene with the flyer. Thing is, I know this brother. You know this brother. Like a friend. I know this brother, and we had a brief conversation. We didn't discuss payment. We didn't discuss terms, conditions, nothing. And then I see my name on a flyer. Now, what will get me upset about that is I just literally tell a private person for a private booking all the way in Port of Spain. Yeah, sure, I'm free on that day because this other gig I was supposed to have didn't contact me to confirm anything. And then I see my name on the flyer. I know I wonder if the person that booked me think I'm trying to scam them. Or whatever the case is. So I had to announce this publicly and even talk to my lawyer to do a cease and desist and all of this foolishness. Spend money, all kind of nonsense. But the reality was that Trinidad do things a little bit ad hoc at times sometimes, and I do feel like if we don't take it seriously, because music and art for most of us is a hobby, is a fun thing, is like most of us don't use it to pay bills, you know. And I could understand the casual vibes in it, because when we did it the first time, it was quite a casual vibe. So I was like, no, we could do a thing. But for me, that's introductory vibes. That's like, all right, well, we can always reason and figure out how we can do things, but the reasoning is important. And if we don't reason, you can't just put my name up on a flyer. I don't know how much you paying me. I don't know what time I played. I don't know how I get in there.
Facts, yeah.
You know, but there's things like that is run into all the time. And then my main problem with the Trinidad and Tobago community for music, I guess if I want to call it that, is lack of authenticity.
Meaning?
we look at international things and tell ourselves, yeah, let's recreate that, or let's try to recreate that, and we wouldn't even try to name it something differently. Like I remember one time I saw people in the alternative scene was advertising an event, and they literally call it Boiler Room now.
Oh, in London, Boiler Room, the same.
So yeah, you know about you know about London Boiler Room, right? And they call it Boiler Room, and I was like, you cannot use other people's hard work and brand. I'm gonna record this on my own. You cannot use other people's hard work and brand and slap it on top of yours and say, yeah, you're doing that.
I guess you can.
Fun fact.
If you want to.
No, you can't. Well, big corporations doing it too, you know.
Stop.
Anyway, you cannot just slap your people brand on your thing, because the fun fact is, like, one of the original Boiler Room guys has a connection with our label. And I just figure one day he will see some shit like that and be like, no, I'm putting my foot down. We are going to Trinidad, we're going in court and we're going to sue these people. But it doesn't play out. So but
I guess the chances of
I remember voicing that one time on my Instagram stories and even the take off the Boiler Room. But for me, it's like we lack authenticity when we trying to be creative, because we feel like if nobody else in the world will see it, but the world getting smaller. I just always talk about certain things with certain brands. Like I wouldn't call the big brand name. I think I mentioned them before, but you know the Beats by Dre logo?
Yeah.
I can show you a recreation of that logo, and the time frame in which it came out, it was around the same time as the Beats by Dre. Like we used to do these things right through. Like there's a food delivery app over here. You know, in England there's Just Eat. I wouldn't name the one here because everybody would be able to figure it out. But there's one something here with similar logo, everything, and I'm like, yo, why it is we can't just be original? Because the thing is, like, we just come up with real cool things originally.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, why not just work on that instead of just trying to
Yeah.
So that's just my argument in terms of the creative industry here. I just feel like if people have, not all people, but a lot of people have stopped putting out effort, and the people that actually put out effort don't get recognized, because reality of the music industry now is, I mean, you're kind of proof to that, is that you have to be a content creator. You can't just make a good song and hope people want to hear a good song.
Yeah,
you had to find a way. You had to find a way to push that, or even if it's not a good song, you still had to find a way to push that.
I think it's not a blanket rule, right? Because my case study of this, like, of course, if you're a content creator, it's going to be easier for you to launch anything. It's going to be easier for you to launch a glasses company, a song, a cake company, anything, right? Like, of course, because you have a network. But Beat Run Bad, What X is very bad at social media, sorry. Like, and he had...
Yeah, but we don't know who you know.
Okay.
We don't know.
But he himself was in no way, and is still in no way, an influencer.
I am bad at social media, and yet I just tour Europe and England every other year.
Yeah, but
you don't know who I know.
Like, I don't know. I think of course it helps, but I think you can still come out with like a song that's going to be in like the top 10 without remotely being an influencer.
Well,
you know,
maybe not, you know, maybe so, yeah. But I think it's like, all right.
But I think
I would even look at it this way, right? I would take it further back. I'm going to take you back to the year 2010 when JW and Blaze did Palance. If it's 2010, I think.
Okay. I hadn't come to Trinidad by that point, but Palance was big in England.
Yeah, Palance was big everywhere. Everywhere where they listen to soca, Palance was big.
Yeah.
And these guys were radio announcers and like the furthest thing from musicians, and they came and won Soca Monarch, you know. They tried the next year and it didn't work out. And I think that was like one of the early phases of being popular, getting you forward, as they want to call it. Because I remember it had quite a few artists that year. They didn't openly say this, but I kind of was around some soca people at that time. You know, I wouldn't call the names of the people, because men might call and be like, so there, you remember he boy? Because a lot of soca people don't even remember my face from being around and things. But I remember hearing some soca artists voice the concern, so that like, radio DJ singing now, so they're meeting up all before them come and when can soca monarch. I soca artists who doing this for years, should I do that? But the reality was that judges love it, the audience love it, the people love it, so they get through. But reality is that they was working on the radio, so yes, you and your radio station go and play a tune for it to get popular.
Yeah.
If it wasn't working on your radio, your tune probably wouldn't get popular. And this argument that my brethren Bammy does have all the time. He's like, if you're a radio DJ and you want to be an artist, take your ass off the radio, like how all them Americans just do it.
Wasn't Shaw Marshall like a radio person?
Yeah. Sharma, I don't even know if he's still on the radio.
I don't know, but I think that's how he started, right?
Yeah. Jaiga, all of them fellas, Ding Dong, all of them was radio men. So, but some people argument is come off the radio and then do it because come like if you're cheating now, because you're on the radio station, you go and play your own tune, or even if you don't play your own tune, I try to be not diplomatic, try to be fair and you say, I'm not playing my own tune.
Yeah.
I could tell all my friends on them on that same station, when is your shift play my tune now?
Yeah.
You'll give my
But then I guess like, it's just like life, isn't it, really? Because it's like, okay, if this guy over here, if his dad works in Republic Bank and he wants to be a banker, well, it makes sense that he asks his dad to give him a little internship. And you know, in life you have to use your network, right? Otherwise,
of course, you have to.
You just have to do what's best for you. And like all of us use our network in some way,
the thing
right?
is,
like
people will always do what's best for them, and I never have an issue with that at all. Always do what's best for you.
Yeah.
However, go and have somebody that's the worst thing for them, and then that's going to be where the bacchanal start. And then the other thing too is do what's best for you and see how it works. And then to me is the general public or the people that you're looking to consume it are going to either validate it or not. Yeah,
because they do still have a choice.
Yeah,
like no one's forcing them.
Nobody's forcing them, but I could. You see, when I met you, it was how many Christmas song?
Yeah.
And I told you, I hate Christmas music, but I know this song. And you was coming and he's like, I hate Christmas music too.
But it still gets in your head.
You have a choice,
but then it's like, okay, that gets in my head, but I wouldn't share it though. Do you get it? Like, the Christmas song's in my head, but I wouldn't attend the concert and I wouldn't share it on my socials. So you still have a choice. Do you know what I mean? You don't have a choice for it. You do not have a choice for it to be in your head. You do not have a choice. But you have a choice with what you then, like if you support it, right?
How I think about it is, it's in my ears, At some point, I'm not gonna like this song, but I'll be like, let me think of one of them Christmas songs I carry this stand. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. When that come on half past 11 in the night on Christmas Eve, yes, they're like Jack Frost. And you're like, oh,
right,
shit.
but you're still not going to the concert and you're still not streaming it, right?
But wait, you're right. I'm not going to the concert. I'm not streaming it. But then we also have a culture of haters. People that would actually go on your shit to type bad comments and run up the views.
Are you telling me?
But I know you know all this. People that would actually run up your comments, run up your likes.
Love the haters.
The haters are a really important part of this thing, because also when haters could articulate why they dislike your shit. That's one thing. You could probably take that as like advice or notes or whatever. Like, maybe this person might be onto something. Let me think about it. But you see, when they can't articulate why they don't like your shit, then it's like, oh yeah, I think I actually have my first real hater. Hate me for no reason. So I just see the whole thing as a very ticklish place to be in if you're a musician and creative in Trinidad. In that reality, you just had to meet the right people, and long and short of the story, not just meeting the right people, you had to lick some ass. And that's one thing I never do, so I wear it to myself.
Since I made single, one music, I'm not going to say who, but one musician's serious advice to me was that, honestly, you're probably going to have to have sex with some people you don't want to have sex with in the industry. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to.
Music industry evil or no?
I haven't had to so far. I don't plan to.
Sorry. Yeah, the music industry is evil.
But then in my head I was like, does that mean they've done that? The fact that they're telling me that, I was like,
Well, is a realistic thing or no? Is a very, very realistic thing that we had to think about? I kind of get used to... No, I'll keep it real with you. People, especially when they see these three Rasta men walk in the room, i.e. Sons of Dub,
Yeah.
people kind of tend to think that, nah boy, now is the time I need to straighten up. I need to put on my straight jacket because these street rastas here. And enough time before we reach is snorting, is thing popping and rah rah rah. As soon as we reach all of that done, everybody looking at me like almost like the class prefects reach. And I think that's
You
because
lot far from bloody class prefects.
well, I remember when you're carrying about yourself in a particular way. We are not the fun guys to be around. If you're talking about the things that we just mentioned, I guess. But the thing is, most of the people don't know that we just let people do what they want. But it's almost, we kind of appreciate the respect, but at the same time too, it's like, oh, them Sons of Dub fellas reach, we gotta behave. And also it tied into, I guess, the perception of who we are and what we just do and all of this. But also a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't really waver. Like whatever we believe in is what we believe in, and I could say this because I tour with them other two guys, but that was always me. When I meet Jamie, that was always Jamie from the day I meet him. When I meet Bami, that was always Bami. Like Bami might have some weird beliefs or some strange beliefs, but he's meant to stand on business now, and a lot of people don't like that because you're not easily swayed. So
yeah, people hate that.
Yeah, when
people
you're
hate
not
that
easily.
for me too.
Yeah, because we gave another guy £500 and he did it. Why is it a problem with you guys? Because we're not the other guy. The other guy value the £500 more than his dignity or more than his his integrity. We put those things above, and I would say that it has worked out for us. A lot of times it has worked out for us because like the real promoters, like Big Up Uprising Festival in Slovakia one time, like the real people that we just link with, they stand for the same thing that we stand for. They're the same people that would put us on festival stages. They are also the same people that would hear Sons of Dub is coming to their country, and they would take out their life savings to do an event and pay us. Just because they know, no, these good guys are coming through, and because we don't value money and earning a lot of money in the same way that other people might, because realistically all of us have other sources of income. Bami does his Bami berries in the States. Jamie has seeds for so. I do other things, you know. Jobs, gigs, you name it, but I kind of selective with what I do. I also don't like to, you know, like just put that information out there all the time. So sometimes when people will sway for money, we won't. Or even if we don't have a lot of money at the time and we could do with the extra money, that money is no fun spending if you know you compromise your morals for it. You know, so at least for us. So in this way, we just like, we can't be swayed with a popular person. Like all of we just approach every single celebrity that we come across in the same way. We're just another guy. I remember one time, who it was, boy? No, Jamie knows Chronix. It wasn't Chronix. It was somebody else at that Boomtown stage the first year. And this person, I guess, was relatively famous, and he was there in the dressing room or walking around or whatever. And Jamie was like, hey, you have a lighter?
Oh, I think you might have told me about this.
Yeah, they automatically thought he was coming up to them to be, I think it was Protégé, you know. But you know Protégé too. But I think it was more like, they was like expecting, oh, you're so. No, hey, yo, you have a lighter? All right, cool, light spliff. Oh, sorry. And that is kind of like that's just how we approach everybody and everything, because according to my brethren, a man is just a man.
Yeah. Okay, so it's almost been an hour.
Oh yeah.
So, final thing, if there was any Trini, maybe Trini man or young Trini man, whatever, who either is into music or traveling and they would like to pursue those things, do you have any advice for them?
Be prepared to lose money at first, and always be tactical and diligent in what you do. Now, I haven't always been tactical and diligent, but I know that because I've done it. There have been times where I have not been that very tactical and diligent, and it didn't work out that much, and then the opposite has happened. So I'm more leaning towards this side. Know your worth, and know your worth doesn't mean that now you're not coming out the house for 500, or you're not coming out the house for this amount. And I say know your worth, understand what it is you are bringing forward, and don't waver on that. If it is that somebody is doing a show or doing a gig, and you feel like, yeah, I really want to be on that show, and they tell you, hey, we can't pay you, but you see it as more valuable to have you on that show, to have that your name on that lineup, to
have the exposure, like.
I don't even like to use the word exposure. Or you might see it as fair content, you know. You might get to put up some good content that people are like, oh yeah, he was in that with those people. We could definitely book him for these things. If you see that's valuable, or if it is that you see like working with children and old people, that's valuable. Like, understand your worth and apply your worth accordingly. So that's like one of my closing thoughts. And the other thing is, you can't wait for anything to work out properly all the time. Not all the time things work out properly. Remember, when you're doing music and you're doing art, it's a business. If you talk to any business owner, businesses fail, businesses crash. Just had a rework and come again. And fun fact, 85% of new businesses fail. So just keep that statistic in your mind when you're doing your thing.
Cool. Thank you.
Boom.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.